A Muslim student at a London school has lost a High Court challenge against its ban on prayer rituals. The pupil, who cannot be named, claimed the policy at the Michaela Community School in Wembley is discriminatory. Ajmal Masroor is imam at a London mosque, joins me now. Good evening to you. Thank you very much for being with us. First of all, what do you make of the ruling?
Good evening, Mark. Thank you very much for having me. Very disappointing, actually. It's a sad day for many, but mostly kids. My children are equally young. They go to schools. One of my daughters, she goes to a very good school, very close to this particular school that we're talking about. And in her school, she's doing her A-levels, now sixth form, and her predicted grade is 4 A stars. And it's a school that allows her to pray her prayers during her lunch break. Her friends go together to the prayer room. It's a multi-faith prayer room. They feel very much at ease. They perform very well. The school is very strict about discipline, and they maintain it. There is no harm done by anyone who wants to pray. In fact, that school welcomes it. So this school, by saying kids can't pray, they're actually pushing the kids out, excluding them and giving them the wrong message.
Right. So, I mean, but this is an avowedly secular school, a non-religious school. The parents knew that when they sent the child there. The child could have gone to another school, a school like you have just described.
Yes, of course, they could have. And would this school that is avowedly secular, as you call it, would they be banning Christmas holidays because that's based on Christian values? Would they be banning Easter holidays, again based on Christian values? Would they be banning our national anthem that says God save the king because God is religious? I'm just sensing a hypocritical stance on the part of this school. The head teacher herself, she comes from a minority ethnic background. I understand that. And I also understand that she has been a very acclaimed head teacher. But that doesn't give her the right to impose secular values on people who would otherwise be celebrating their own religion. And part of secularism, Mark, is to be inclusive, not to be intolerant.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting point on inclusion because she said, the school head says, allowing prayer rituals risks undermining inclusion.
Very contradictory statement. She's imposing secular values on children. Let me define what it means to be a Muslim. As a Muslim, I believe in one God. I believe in the scripture called the Quran, and I follow the teachings of the Prophet. Now, part of my identity is to pray 5 times a day. Denying my right to pray is denying my identity to be a Muslim. That's fundamentally breaching my human rights. And that head teacher should know that. Inclusivity means celebrating my difference and my faith needs, including other people's, and allowing that safe space for me to flourish.
Right. I mean, her point is about multiculturalism. She says our restrictive building, so there's not much space in the building, the strict ethos, she says, and the desire to see multiculturalism succeed means that self-sacrifice is required. That's her point.
Yes, multiculturalism, for it to succeed, it requires all faith and all cultures to feel safe and to flourish equally and be part of a global or a partnership. Now, she's creating an exclusive culture called militant extremist secularism. We don't recognize that. I think this is an anathema to British liberal values. We should stand together and say, actually, you know what? You're sending the wrong signal. These kids are now going to be feeling excluded. Parents are going to be thinking about finding an alternative school. If not, parents would be setting up their own school because they don't want to be excluded ever again.
Right, Ajmal, she makes the point that she says, I will urge you in her statement to remember that hundreds of Muslim families, and I think it's about 50% Muslim pupils at the school, hundreds of Muslim families love my school.
Yes, they do, but they don't necessarily.
So it may not be that you know, scores and scores are leaving.
But hang on a second. It's not about scores and scores are leaving. If a small minority of people feel that they're being excluded, we have to respect the wishes of minorities as well, not just impose our own. By the way, if these 50% of the Muslim families were given a chance and given fair opportunity, they would ask their children to attend prayers. They've made that sacrifice, and they don't have to make that sacrifice. My daughter goes to a brilliant school. They haven't made that sacrifice. I go up and down the country, Mark. Schools don't make sacrifice.
Yeah. Just one last
on this case, unfortunately, alone.
Yeah. Just one last point. We've only got 45 seconds left. I mean, there was this point made during the hearing that some pupils felt they were being coerced into praying.
I've seen kids complaining, being coerced into taking drugs or smoking or painting their hair blue. Kids are kids. We as adults have to behave better than that. We need to create a safe space where everyone feel included, celebrated, and not othered. And Katharine has created a culture of otherness, secular, militant, extreme version of secularism. Our idea of liberal value means we include others, we celebrate our diversity, and we don't push our children out of school.
OK, Ajmal Masroor, I appreciate your time this evening. Thanks for coming on.